Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverde. Today, severe or difficult to control asthma can be life-threatening and requires active self-management, monitoring, often a team of experts to treat and manage. We're going to learn more about this.
And for those who've experienced severe or life-threatening burns, like our very own Ralph Pagano, having a support system is critical, and we're on location.
And neurogenic orthostatic hypotension as we go behind the mystery.
Plus, it is no mystery. We all love a bargain. So next month, that means October, we're kicking off the Balancing Act deals.
And what a deal it is. You can sign up by either texting the word balance to 2100021, and that's 3 zeros.
000.
There you go, on your mobile phone, or just go to thebalancingactdeals.com.
We'll be offering all kinds of great deals on every show. Register now so you can shop and save.
I love that. Can't wait for that. But for now, let's start the show.
Let's get this thing started.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Are you okay? What's wrong?
I feel tightness in my chest and I can't breathe very well. I can't stop coughing.
What are you doing?
I was playing soccer outside, and at the end I started feeling weak and tired, and now I just can't stop coughing, and it's getting harder and harder for me to breathe.
There are few things as scary as not being able to breathe, and when someone is having a severe asthma attack, that is the exact feeling, the gasping for breath, the tightening of the chest. Many asthma sufferers describe it as feeling like a pillow is being held over their face. Well, today we're going to talk about how to treat and manage asthma. Joining me for this very important discussion is Tanya Winders, President and CEO of Allergy and Asthma Network. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. This is really important for so many parents. And I know that was a video, dramatic, but I've seen it, and it's pretty intense. It's frightening.
It is. There are 22 million Americans currently living with asthma, and 5 to 10% of those have a unique type of asthma called severe asthma. And our understanding of asthma has actually evolved quite a bit, but it can be life-threatening and extremely frightening.
So it's a lot more common than people think.
Yes. Asthma actually happens to about 1 in 10 people here in the U.S., and unfortunately about 10 people die every day due to asthma. In fact, the numbers are growing. Globally, we know that over 400 million people will have asthma by 2025.
Let's talk about what happens, Tanya, in the lungs. What is causing it?
So when a patient is actually experiencing an asthma flare or an asthma attack, they'll often say, actually what's happening is that their airways are closing up, they're constricting, but there's also inflammation in those airways. And it's that inflammation that creates mucus and clogs those airways and then also causes them to close.
And there are several types of asthma, in fact, maybe 2?
Actually, there are many types of asthma.
Okay.
So
some are mild, more severe.
Yes. So we once thought that asthma was just a single disease. But now, as science has evolved, we understand that it's a spectrum of disease, mild, moderate, and severe. And even within that severe end of the spectrum, that there are up to at least 4, but up to probably 8 or maybe even 20 different types.
Wow. Now, I know there are many treatments out there, and I'm going to personalize. My younger one, she had a lot of wheezing, croup,
That seal bark.
That seal bark, yes. La foca, as we say in Spanish, la foca. And the first line of treatment they would give her is steroids.
Yes. Oral steroids, probably,
right?
Yes. And oral steroids work. They are inexpensive products that work very quickly to stop that inflammation. And they're very useful for some patients. But if you're getting oral steroids more than 2 times a year, then that's a cause for a red flag. That's the time that you should actually stop and think about how uncontrolled your asthma truly is, and perhaps have a discussion about other types of treatment that may be more appropriate. Because while those steroids are effective, they actually have pretty severe side effects. So the oral steroids in the short term can make you moody or have sleep disruptance, but in the long term it can cause weight gain, it actually can cause diabetes or glaucoma or osteoporosis. So a lot of different diseases and side effects from overuse of oral steroids.
So what are other treatment options for parents or people that want to stay away from steroids?
Yeah, so again, inhaled steroids, very important mainstay in asthma treatment, but oral steroids are actually 10 times more potent. So that's the steroid that we're talking about, is the oral steroid. And for those patients that are having ER visits, hospitalizations, or using more than 2 bursts of oral steroids, there are now new treatments. There are targeted therapies that are out there. We can actually test in the breath and the blood for patients to determine what the biomarkers are and what treatments those individual patients may respond most likely to.
Which is good because it's an individualized treatment for that person as opposed to just treating it as a one-size-fits-all?
Absolutely.
So parents and patients really need to be educated. It's very important. And I know you've created a wonderful campaign, an awareness campaign, if you will. It's called Shared Decision Making Tool. Tell me about it.
Yes, so the Allergy and Asthma Network has partnered with the Chest Foundation and the American College of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology to develop a shared decision-making tool. It's an interactive online tool that actually asks patients their preferences and their values, and then helps to tailor and target the discussion between the patient and their provider to get to the best possible treatment option for that individual patient.
So it's very personalized, if you will.
Yes.
That's fantastic. All right, for our viewers who'd like more information on the website, where can they go, Tanya?
You can visit allergyasthmanetwork.org or asthma.chestnut.org, or of course just go to the Balancing Act, where you'll see the links for both of those.
Fantastic. You're the best.
Thank you.
You could be a host. I appreciate it. And of course, like she said, check out our website, thebalancingact.com. A few months ago, we shared Ralph Pagano's story of survival, his courage and determination to recover from a tragic burn accident in Bimini.
Ralph, as you saw, is doing well and is still as determined as ever. In fact, he's helping others who have gone through what he experienced, other burn patients who need a hug, a good laugh, or a good friend.
It's part of the Burn Survivor Support Group at Jackson Health. Take a look.
How are you? I'm so glad you made it.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
So glad you made it. Yay, you made it. Yay.
A warm welcome, a smile.
Hey, how you doing?
Some are friends, some are strangers, but they all have one thing in common. They've all been burned in a tragic accident.
July 4th last year, I was cleaning my barbecue grill, and the grill kind of flared up and caught my shirt on fire.
One by one, they come together at a group therapy session at Jackson Memorial Hospital.
It's still very emotional to talk about it, because when you speak about it, there are flashbacks.
To share their story and help ease their pain.
And the people that are here understand. And can relate.
People like our very own Chef Ralph Pagano, who suffered third-degree burns on his body after a kitchen accident in Bimini. On the road to recovery and doing much better, Ralph is now coming to these gatherings to listen to others and help them heal.
As you know, that it's hard. It's nice to hear somebody else who's been burned and who's gone through this, and then who's actually going out and continuing on with life. So.
My name is Ralph Pagano. On June 22nd last year, at about 4:30 p.m., I was involved in an accident that changed my life forever.
An open discussion with open wounds, people pulling together and finding the strength to open their hearts.
It's definitely been a roller coaster, but I had to grow up really fast, so I've definitely learned to take the positives out of it.
A chance to look ahead and move on.
Unless you've actually been burned, you don't know what it's like. And I tell them all the time, I've been working in this area for well over 15 years, and I still don't know what it's like to be burned as much as they have. It's extremely painful. It can get very depressing. It's very frustrating. And so to have somebody else who's been there say, I've been there, I know what it's like, they do. And you trust them more, and it just means something that much more to the person who's been burned.
You know, my message to somebody who right now who's depressed and upset and not feeling loved or that there's going to be a better alternative. My message is there is a better alternative. My message is that if you hold on, the body will heal. Drink plenty of water, stay out of the sun, and get some protein in your body, and your skin will come back. It's what it wants to do. This hospital and this burn unit and these doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners and the orderlies and everybody here are here to heal, and they do heal, and they are an amazing group of people.
An amazing group of people who, after a short time, are bonding, sharing a meal, and enjoying their time together. And of course, laughing with our dear friend, Ralph Pagano.
Everybody here today has won a fireproof t-shirt. That's right. If you spend at least 21 days in the hospital, you too get beautiful cotton fireproof shirt.
Oh wait, there's more. You have to. Go ahead.
But you have to get naked when you wear it.
What a great story, right?
Wow.
Oh,
yes.
We want to thank Jackson Health for letting us join in on this inspiring gathering. And to all of those who were there, thank you so much for sharing your personal story, and we are praying for you. And of course, a huge thanks to our very own Ralph. He's fantastic.
He is. And if you'd like more information on the Burn Center, you can go to jacksonhealth.org and search Burn Center, or go to our website, thebalancingact.com. We're coming right back, so stay with us.
I was kind of finding my way down the stairs one night, and I just suddenly felt myself just sort of falling off the stairs and down to the bottom level of the house.
Today on Behind the Mystery, we're talking to Keith, his wife Linda, and how they're living with neurogenic orthostatic hypotension, or NOH. Never heard of it? Well, let's start with the basics. N, neurogenic, associated with the nervous system. O, orthostatic, related to standing up. H, hypotension, abnormally low blood pressure. In the studio this morning to help us understand this condition is neurologist Dr. Stuart Isaacson. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to hear from Keith and his wife Linda in just a bit, but first let's talk about what is NOH. I've never heard of it.
Well, NOH, as you just pointed out, is neurogenic orthostatic hypotension. And it's a condition that's not very common, but occurs in people who have Parkinson's disease and some related conditions called multiple system atrophy. And the problem with NOH is usually when we stand up, we release a chemical called norepinephrine. And this causes the blood vessels to constrict and the heart to beat faster. So blood pressure comes up and we don't feel like the blood pressure is dropping. We don't have feelings of lightheadedness or dizziness. Many people with Parkinson's disease, probably about 1 in 5, have symptoms from NOH. And when they stand up, not enough norepinephrine is released. And the blood pressure goes down and down. And they begin to develop lightheadedness and dizziness, and they might even pass out. 1 in 5 will have symptoms, and these may be provoked by dehydration or not feeling well or taking medication that may lower blood pressure. And then when symptoms come out, we have to pay attention to the symptoms. And one way we do this is we have people check their blood pressure. They can check it in the visit when they come to our office. They can check it at home. Often after breakfast might be a time of day when it's the lowest. They can keep a diary of how it changes around mealtime or after meals or when they're lying in bed at night. And when we find the blood pressure drops, we always look for a key point, which is at the heart rate. Usually when blood pressure falls and someone feels lightheaded, the heart rate goes up and up and up. But in neurogenic orthostatic hypotension, in NOH, the heart rate doesn't change much at all. And that's really a key for a doctor or nurse to make the diagnosis of NOH.
We recently spent the day with Keith, who has Parkinson's, and his wife, Linda. His diagnosis of NOH came several years into the onset of Parkinson's. Let's hear more.
Do you want some more coffee?
Sure.
A little bit of fruit?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 10 years after his Parkinson's diagnosis that Keith and his wife, Linda, noticed signs and symptoms of what would eventually be diagnosed as NOH. Episodes were sporadic.
You know, kind of stumbling as after being in a car ride or going up a set of steps. Why all of a sudden would you be dizzy?
That was the time when we thought it was just a periodic event that was happening every now and then.
The NOH diagnosis was a little bit more difficult because initially I just thought it was the other shoe that fell off with Parkinson's. Keith had a couple falls, not just down the steps, but a couple general falls, like, okay, does this mean this is what happens with Parkinson's? And we'd been educated enough to know that everybody is different. So we were also very fortunate that our general practitioner and our movement specialist spoke to each other. So between the two of them came up with, okay, we've got some blood pressure issues here.
Keith, a former pilot and self-described gym rat, has learned to manage his NOH symptoms. He makes sure to drink more water, along with other lifestyle changes as recommended by his doctor.
Sometimes you're in a situation where you don't know how severe your episode's going to be. And so I now have a routine where I get up and I will give the blood a chance to and the blood pressure to equalize. And I've been able to avoid any mishaps, just following a simple, set of rules.
They keep a blood pressure log and communicate regularly with their healthcare team.
Communication with your doctor is extremely important.
College sweethearts, the Halls have always been an on-the-go family. They're taking steps to help ensure they continue to stay active, even with Keith's Parkinson's and NOH.
When Keith's first initial diagnosis, to me, it wasn't devastating. I'm always taken aback when people say that. So to us, it was just part of what our journey was going to be. It might be tiring, but I think to have things move smoothly, and you do have to think about everything. So if you are traveling or you're going out, you make sure that you have your snacks and your water and your glasses, and it's just part of who we are and what we're doing.
Now, doctor, while you're not Keith's physician, can you relate this to how your experience has been with your patients?
Well, I think what we heard from Keith and his wife are that these symptoms come on very gradually. It's hard to sometimes recognize that they're new symptoms. He's had symptoms of Parkinson's for several years where he's had trouble maybe arising from a chair and walking and having good balance and movement. And now different symptoms may occur that can be confused with the mobility problems of Parkinson's. So it's important when you have any types of symptoms standing or after a meal to bring those up at a visit with the doctor and nurse and talk about how the symptoms may be different and may be early symptoms of NOH.
Now, doctor, once properly diagnosed, are there ways to manage NOH symptoms?
When they stand up, they should do it gradually. Sit at the side of the bed for a couple of minutes, then stand up, and before they walk, wait a couple of minutes. Sometimes squeezing the calf muscles or the gluteal muscles can help maintain blood pressure when they stand up as well. Some of our patients wear compression stockings, usually up to the waist, so it can really push the blood back from the stomach and also the legs. We tell our patients to remain well hydrated, to really concentrate on drinking a lot of water and other fluids and adding salt to their diet, especially drinking those fluids in the morning hours when blood pressure is lower. Some of our patients elevate the head of the bed when they sleep. And when they don't work, we have medications that can help as well. Our patients always have to talk with their doctors and nurses to make sure that whatever they're anticipating to do to try to treat this problem is done with medical guidance.
It's manageable, and that you can modify the response that you have to the NOH by being patient. You can live with it, and you can do well with it.
So, doctor, to summarize everything, what are the key things we need to remember here?
Well, I think it's important to realize that NOH is very common in Parkinson's. It's even more common in multiple system atrophy. And so whenever you have symptoms that occur when you stand up, always think that it could be a symptom of NOH and bring it up at the next visit with your doctor and nurse. And to make the diagnosis, the blood pressure has to be checked seated and also standing with the heart rate, and make that diagnosis. Because the diagnosis has to be made so we can use effective management to try to improve the symptoms and not have people doing less and less activity, becoming isolated, becoming depressed, not going out and going about their day because the blood pressure is too low.
Doctor, thank you so much for your time and all the information you've given us today.
Sure, thank you.
And if you'd like more information on NOH, you can go to this website, nohmatters.com, or just check out our website, thebalancingact.com. Lots of good information, and of course, our dear Ralph and his continued recovery.
He is such an inspiration, and thank you for bringing that story to us.
I was so
really
touched.
I know, I could tell that you were.
And our prayers to everyone there.
Prayers to everyone there. And remember to head to our Facebook page and our website and follow us on Twitter.
Don't forget our Instagram, @Julie and Olga.
@Julie and Olga, that's right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time. So long.